lights. This is not just a game. This here is my life. Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Live from a beautiful summer's day in Koreatown, California. It's the Ozone. I'm your host, Omar Miller. I'm here with my brother, Terry Miller, and various sound and beautiful people that are fully nutriented and supplemented, working the cameras, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with you, and just a shout out to Twizzy Twitch on the music. Looks like he's out in Chicago doing a hip-hop competition, which we hope he brings home the gold.
Bring it in.
Bring it in, Twizzy Twitch. Bring it in. How you feeling today?
Feeling great. It's beautiful outside. This is one of the best summers we've had in years.
It's really nice out, I have to say. We've only had a minimal amount of just devastatingly hot days, and I can't wait because we are on our way to Chavez Ravine, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the New York Yankees to come and tangle with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm very interested to see what will happen in this series. We have a potential World Series matchup that we're about to watch all weekend long.
It's Hanjan on the bump, right?
Let me tell you.
Hanjan.
Roo! It's Roo time. And so we got a lot to cover. We got boxing to cover. Triple G has a couple announcements. We have basketball to cover because LeBron James' decade numbers came out, and they're insane. We have our favorite game, which is baseball, which we couldn't even wait to talk about, to get into. And we have football, NFL, and college. And in the NFL, we're going to start. We seemed to ruffle a lot of feathers last week with our take on Jay-Z and his deal with the NFL. We have one caller who left a message, and he left a message that was so compelling, I told him he could call in and rap with us about it live.
Let's do it.
Boach, live in the Ozone. Long-time listener.
What it do?
First-time live caller.
You got it.
Now,
Terry, what's up?
You got it.
You've been on our helmet for a long time about all things Toronto. Years ago, when you had Joey Bats, after he suffered a knockout at second base at the hands of Rougned Odor, you
at 4'9",
no, Rougned Odor is low because he's about 5'6", but he had just enough for Joey Bats.
Give him credit.
But you did call them beating Cleveland, which I did not see coming. Right. They got handled after that, as expected. You also
I actually said 5 games, but
you called 5 games in the Raptors series.
Great,
and it almost happened.
And it almost happened. Great breakdown. We can actually run that call back. That was a great message, great breakdown, and you called it. I mean, I don't know if you accidentally had a sniper in the crowd for Kevin Durant or what, but and Klay Thompson, but whatever you needed, you got that chip.
Those silent darts.
You get it. And now you've taken offense to our take on the Jay-Z NFL deal. Please lay out your case so we can go bit by bit.
And this is not because I'm affiliated with those guys.
Right. You're not signed to Rock Nation. We want to make that clear. You're not signed to Rock Nation as a disclaimer, and you are not profiting off of the NFL, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Now, I wonder if your audience is familiar with the movie Aaron Brockovich, where Aaron Brockovich, the protagonist played by Julia Roberts, goes against Big Tobacco.
Right.
Now, they don't go all the way to court, but they get to the point where the court documents are shown that Big Tobacco did have something to do with poisoning the water, and that's what led them to settle out and pay up all those families. They didn't take it all the way to trial, but it got to that point where when the documents were unsealed, Big Tobacco had to settle out and fix this before it went to trial and be worse.
You're talking about class action.
Class action suit, all right? Now, with Kaepernick, about a couple of weeks before he settled out with the NFL, it was exposed that they had evidence that there was collusion. Now, everything that has to do with the whole he settled out for lost wages, he could have got those lost wages.
Okay. I feel like you're pausing as though we need a sound effect for dramatic effect.
Okay. But once you get it to trial and the documents are unsealed in court so that everybody, reporters, ourselves, can see the proof of collusion with the NFL players to hold him back. He didn't even take it that. If he had taken it there, I would give him all the respect in the world. But what he did was take the money, and it wasn't much, and he dropped the ball. When he dropped the ball, he was the first domino, and he opened the lane for Jay-Z to do business with the NFL. If he hadn't have done that, Jay-Z doesn't sit down with the NFL. That's my point. I'm not saying Jay-Z's a saint, but Kaepernick could have pulled an Ali. He could have pulled an Aaron Brockovich. He did not.
Okay.
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Yo, get yours out. Let the T get his out.
Kaepernick is flawed.
Take it out, Terry.
Kaepernick is flawed off the top. First of all, he didn't vote last time, he said, right?
He said he did not vote.
He did not vote.
He lost a lot of points for that.
Right.
Okay, and also, I don't know how much cheese he got on his settlement, but one of the things that I didn't like was the non-transparency. We needed to know how much cheese he got off of that.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Boach, if you're going to be in this format, you're going to need to let everybody talk, or we're going to have to keep you on the message line.
On the mutation
You're
base.
going to have to mute you got your points out. Now let's go.
Yeah, and also, I don't believe that Jay-Z would have made this sellout move regardless of whatever, because Jay-Z is all about the money, and he doesn't really care about this situation. Him and Kaepernick are boys, so he could have went to Kaepernick, and from what I gather, he hasn't went to him at all about the situation. He just decided to cash in. Now they're parading him around like he's some kind of, Saint Jay-Z, and I mean, I really think he's a sellout.
Jeez, you're going hard in the paint. Now, this is Big O. Let me lay out on you what I got.
Lay it out.
Now,
Shoot.
where do I go? Now, tying in Kaepernick with Aaron Brockovich or Muhammad Ali is flawed because Colin Kaepernick had already made upwards of $40 or $50 million prior to this whole thing even starting.
And gave up some guaranteed
And he
cheese.
gave up some guaranteed another 40 or 50, which was admirable on some level, but I never understood why he did that. Now, to me, the biggest problem with this whole scenario, as the way that you laid it out and the way that it's being laid out in general in mainstream media, I saw Marcellus Wiley going hard in the paint and bugging it out about Colin Kaepernick and not being black enough and so on and so forth.
I don't agree with that. Black is black. Q-Tip said that.
There you go. But I'm just saying that was that's what I gathered from him. My issue is the wool has already been pulled over our eyes, brother. Plymouth Rock has already landed on us because we're talking about Jay-Z versus Colin Kaepernick, and that's not what this is about.
Right.
And the narrative has been collectively changed directly, and social media has poured gasoline on the situation. And there was even a poll on the OZONE handle about who are you with, Jay-Z and the NFL or Kaepernick, to which I objected. I did not put it up. That's our social media manager who put it up. That's not the right narrative at all. Because the issue that I have with the deal, and when we were on the air before, what we spoke about was prior to the announcement that Jay-Z was going to have ownership as well in a team. It was just him being the cultural ambassador into the situation. Now, to me, what that sounded like was he was mad that the NFL was getting paid, was actually paying other artists that were not Rock Nation artists, and he decided that his Rock Nation artists should start getting paid for halftime and NFL performances and so on and so forth. I personally think that, especially with all the rumors swirling around about whether or not he talked other artists out of those deals as recently as this year for the Super Bowl and so on and so forth, that's a very suspicious move. Now, when you add to that the idea that he's now going to have some sort of clout or ownership, well, this comes at the most opportune time in history, even more so than the kneeling, because Stephen Ross and all the other NFL owners are all under the gun after the Equinox debacle, after the Soul Cycle debacle, after the Trump fundraising that they're all doing and or just directly donating. Hey, nice, Jay.
Sorry about that.
He's now successfully given the cover to the billionaire class, of which he is a part. Kudos to him, if that's what you're about. Of which he is a part of that class, and he's giving cover to them in the guise of blackness and an ambassador for the culture. There is an issue that I have in general that he is above reproach. People are caping for Jay-Z as though he is their mama. And I have a problem with that because I know as many Jay-Z lyrics as anybody on the line in the room and Jay-Z himself that have been released. Yet that doesn't make him above reproach for criticism when it comes to stuff about the culture. Both sides of the party are flawed. The issue, in my opinion, is the admirable thing that came about was that Colin Kaepernick made any sort of sacrifice for the idea that young black men and young Latino men are being misproportionately handled violently when it comes to the police. This is still happening. This hasn't truly been addressed, but I will say that more light has been brought to it because of this kneeling protest. Now,
but not because Jay-Z bought into the NFL.
And where does the deal with Jay-Z buying into the NFL tie into the advancement of the movement? Because I hear about money going for this, money going for that. Money is not the same as actual movement. There is obviously clear power and great things to be done with the resources, even though most of these resources that we're talking about for these guys are the equivalent of everybody here going to buy a cup of coffee. We have to keep this into perspective. The protest and the whole movement, whether or not that was the intent of it, because people like to question Colin's, actual intent of the protest. I don't, but whether or not that's what it was, it became adopted by the culture to be a symbol that is the anti-red hat, anti-MAGA symbol, and it became the symbol of, hey, we need solidarity about a specific issue, and that specific issue is police brutality against people of color in America. We have not had much movement, but awareness has been raised. The issue that I have is the same issue that I had. I went on the reel, and the girls on the reel, the women on the reel asked me about if I was on his team, would I be down with the protest? And this was at the very beginning of it. I say the same thing now that I say then. If we have a specific end goal, I'm down. But if we're just taking a knee to protest and we have no end goal, we have no set version of what we do next, well, now I have a problem. Because that leaves the door open for people to vulture in and make personal money moves that actually don't have anything to do with the movement.
Which looks like what's going on now.
Potentially. Now, Jay-Z
Right.
has a history of spreading it around in good ways, of bailing people, black people who can't afford to, out of prison. He has a history of philanthropy, of doing positive things. He also has a history, from what I understand, of the ankle braces for investing in the ankle braces for people that are on house arrest. He's a dynamic individual like we all are, so he deserves a fair shake on that. But on its face, and until I see something different, the move is beyond suspect. I want to know where the action is. And the moment I see the action, I'm all kudos for it. The problem that I have is the media, all of which is mostly owned by individuals that are either connected to or are the individuals who own teams in the NFL. It has successfully divided a wedge in between us as a culture, black people, black Twitter, if you will, trying to choose sides, which once again, we've been distracted by the man, if you will, and we no longer actually are focused on the issue that's about, because we're actually worried about a bunch of rich people who have more money than everybody ever will or everybody ever needs, and whether or not they're right. That's my take.
I hear you. There's a couple of things I want to add to that.
Okay. And side note, Aaron Brockovich played if she settled before, even though people got paid. I'm with both of you guys. That's where the real sacrifice comes in, is in seeing the documents.
Right.
But I also think, sorry, Boach, I didn't mean to jump you there, but I also wanted to address what you said. But I also have a problem. The only big problem that I have with that is there's no doubt in any logical person's mind that there was collusion. Just like there was no doubt in any logical person's mind that there was collusion to keep Barry Bonds from playing when Barry Bonds got forced out of the game of baseball.
Right.
This is the problem that we have when we don't have ownership with people that are actually connected to the people. Now, we're hoping Jay-Z is connected to the people. I've seen the most absurd comments. Man, we got to give him time. Jigga would never sell us out. We would never do that. I don't see Jay-Z as the voice of the, not even just a saint.
Nor do I.
I don't even see him as the voice of the people.
I don't know why you would.
I think he's grown beyond that. I think that he has an extreme business acumen, which allows him to be the voice of the people, to act like the voice of the people, to exploit the voice of the people when and where he sees fit. And I think that he's playing chess in the sense that he moves his pieces when he needs to and how he wants to kind of keep making him look like the good guy. He took a risk with this one, and he's not worried about making money on music, so it doesn't matter. My thing is the same thing. Yeah, and visually. And my thing is the same that it's always been. At what point is it enough? At what point do we get out of the rampant materialism that plagues Western society that has gotten us into the position that we are now, so that we realize that we cannot eat or drink money?
We can't?
I tried just before we got on air. I said my mouth is very dry.
I want to add. There's a couple of things I want to add. All right. There's a couple of things I want to add.
Lay it on, Boach. This is the moment to shine, brother.
The Bleacher Report reported yesterday that there's no plans for Jay-Z to become an owner, and it wouldn't. And he couldn't afford to be an owner because from what I hear, NFL teams are worth more than NBA teams, and he had 0.0% for the Brooklyn Nets, so he couldn't afford a team even if he wanted to.
He had much less money.
The second thing,
but let's address it. Let's address it bit by bit.
Second thing,
and no, let's go bit by bit. The first piece with that is that kind of supports the narrative that Terry is talking about, because in that sense, he's almost in blackface in his ownership.
Yeah,
the league will technically be able to say we have an African American owner.
Yes,
even if said African American owner will be 0.035% or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So there's a potential for that, which is why they made the Jay-Z rule in the NBA so that you couldn't just stick a face out and then sit him on the wood on the sidelines as though he was an owner to curry favor with the culture. Point two.
The second point, Rock Nation put out the full video of what transpired between Roger Goodell and Jay-Z.
Okay.
All right. Not one time did Jay-Z denounce or say and make any backhand remark about Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick brought the hate. Started this conversation when he liked a comment by Eric Reed on Twitter or on Instagram, saying negative things about the meeting between Jay-Z and the NFL.
Okay.
You want to get that point?
For me, that point, although it may be true, sorry, I didn't mean to jump you, but although it may be true, is irrelevant to me.
Yeah, and one of the things that they talked about was that Jay-Z was in there laughing, kind of stuff with them, and a lot of people in this moment didn't feel like it was the right spot to be in there laughing with the man.
Yeah,
sounds like a great movie. Laughing with the man. The story of Uncle Tom.
Okay, but how do you attack a situation like this? You don't go there. You don't go there serious. You don't go there with a.
No. If you're doing it, I agree with you. If you're doing it,
but you're also trying to sell it to the public, so you have to give the public what they want as well if you're going to play the game.
Or he's not selling it to the public.
I feel like he's out for himself, just like most of the people that are the 1% now. They're out for themselves. They can actually come out of the closets and just let you know that I'm about myself. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to do. And if you don't like it, then F you.
But what about your take on his philanthropy?
I mean, it's also a play against, because Donald Trump does that kind of pandering as well, the hot Cheeto. Because he'll let a guy out, and then he'll go out and pump and throw a parade for A$AP Rocky, but then at the same time, he's not for black folk. So all these guys do.
How do you know he's not for black folks?
Donald Trump?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were still on Jay-Z.
Wow.
It's pretty clear
you
that we
lost.
know.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're signing out. Ozone out. Me and the rest of my family are going to take over to the back room and give him the once over.
I've never seen such a disappointed look from you.
I'm going to have to go pick up my mother first. She got to let him fly. Okay, you get in there.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
The final point is that I don't think Jay-Z's a saint, and I think, but I don't think Colin Kaepernick is innocent, just like Terry was eloquently put it.
Right.
But I will say he has earned the benefit of the doubt from us. He has earned that.
I feel like they both earned the benefit of the doubt.
No, I'm saying Jay-Z's. No, but I'm saying Jay-Z's earned the benefit of the doubt. So we should just fall back, and instead of
I hear you. Now the issue to me is
the
issue to me with your logic is it's an if then. We're saying that if Colin Kaepernick doesn't take the money from the NFL, then Jay-Z never talks to them, or the door isn't open. And I don't think that that's accurate, because this is like me saying because Ben Carson took a position in Trump's cabinet,
right,
it's okay for me to go shuck and jive and be there's my African American at the rally.
Yeah.
One more point I wanted to add that I forgot to mention. Okay. He didn't show. He should have let it go to court to show the collusion. I know you're saying that we know without a doubt. We knew cops were beating up Rodney King and other brothers like that.
Right.
But until you see the evidence, it doesn't mean nothing.
And it's not even us that needs to see the evidence.
I completely agree.
Right.
Yeah. That's,
you know what I mean.
Boach.
At least take it to the point where we can see the.
You're saying
evidence of the
mainstream
collusion.
needs to see the evidence.
Right. There shouldn't be an NDA.
The evidence.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I completely agree.
When he didn't let it go that far, when he had the financial cushion to let it ride, that's when I was just like,
and clearly he did / does because he had to deal with Nike and he had the money that he had already made. So all of this talk about
he didn't even have to deal with Nike. He had offers from New Balance.
Right.
He had offers from Puma.
And this is my thing is that ultimately I have a problem with everybody saying about the sacrifice that Colin Kaepernick made about feeding his family and so on and so forth. Let's stop all that. I mean, for most people who work on a regular job, even people who don't work on a regular job, it's so hard to fathom picking up $60 million or $100 million. Right. Don't talk to me about feeding your family anymore. Right. That's out. I don't want to hear that no more. I don't know what you're feeding them. But yeah, Boach, appreciate the call. We got to move on. Yep. Fantastic call. And what I'm seeing right now, great work. Great call. Great perspective. Appreciate the take.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me.
What I'm seeing right now for you to leave on is that apparently the Lakers just signed Dwight Howard. Yeah. Wow. There's a surprise. All right. So we'll see you at the Clippers game this year, brother.
No doubt.
All right. Peace. Wonderful perspective from Brother Boach from Toronto.
Yeah, but everybody
Toronto in the house.
Yeah, everybody needs to get back on track with the narrative.
They need to get back on track with the narrative. Which to me supersedes whether Jay-Z's intent is good or bad. Right. Because every day I'm watching videos of cats getting their heads slammed into the ground and their faces busted open, pistol whip, and that's outside of just actually the ultimate and being murdered by the police. When this is, and then there's no way to not juxtapose that against the majority of the mass shooters who are handled with kitty gloves and are taken in with no problems. So, moving on. It's time for the NCAA. Who knew? We have our resident NCAA football expert, do it for the tipper, who called last year's Clemson victory in the national championship from the word go. He's got some slick betting tips for you guys, and they're coming your way right now.
Hello?
Do it for the tipper, live on the Ozone. It is your time to shine, my man. What's happening?
What up?
Slow motion, fellas. How y'all doing?
You tell me. What is it? How's it out there in the desert? What's John Blaze doing out in the desert?
Man, it's so hot out here. Hot and dry.
It sounds like they depleted you, brother. I'm sorry.
Sounds like the desert to me.
Man, need some agua. Need some agua caliente.
You got plenty. Just put it in a cup outside. It'll burn right up for you. Do it for the tipper. Talk to me. I know this is your most exciting time of the year. You have a wonderful situation where you can figure things out. And talk to me. You have a wonderful situation, a method when it comes to gambling to figure it all out.
Man, just studying, I pay attention to college football because college football and college sports, those are the athletes that goes on to the professional that we tend to, enjoy and love and endorse. But, I just love college sports because we were once college athletes. And, you just kind of have like a little insight of what it takes to go to that professional level. So I'm all in when it comes to this college time right here.
Okay, so talk to me. What do we got? You sound low-key. The desert has drained your energy, brother. We're high energy in Koreatown. We got a nice breeze. It's only 80 degrees out here.
Oh, y'all living a life.
Exactly. Talk to me.
Let me bring the energy back. Well,
rewind selector.
Ozone fans, this is Do It for the Tipper. College football 2019, it is going down. I believe the Ozone had me about 80, 85.
Something like that.
Correct last year.
I came from.
I called it from the beginning of the season that it was going to be Clemson. I was going to be winning the national championship. A couple of years ago, I called it again, saying that Clemson with Deshaun Watson was going to win the national championship, and it happened. This year, I'm going to call it again with the opening week of college football. Clemson with Coach Dabo Swinney, with quarterback Kelly Sunshine Bryant is going to win the national championship again this year. The playoff teams that I have are going to be Clemson at number 1, Alabama at number 2, Oklahoma at number 3, Michigan at number 4. Sounds kind of similar to last year. I think Notre Dame was in there instead of Michigan. I have a couple of sleepers. LSU is going to be a sleeper. University of Central Florida is going to be a sleeper. Oregon is going to be a sleeper. Texas is going to be a sleeper. This is what's going down.
Wow. You feel strong. Your AP. Now, how does your poll match up with the AP poll? I know there was a lot of people, seems like some people were weak when the AP top 25 came out.
You know what? With that, I really don't pay too much attention to it because it's based off of last year and who's coming in with the strengths and everything. You know, you got the AP poll and then you got the coaches poll. I don't give a damn who poll it is. You have to play on the field.
You got to play.
You know what I mean?
You got to play. I cut you off in the middle. Keep going, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. You know, it's cool out there, so you can jump in. I'm getting hot. I'm getting hot. Don't slow me down.
Somebody cool him down. Somebody put a cape on that man.
Yeah.
so the AP 25, I won't go all through them, but they got Clemson number 1, Alabama number 2, Georgia number 3, Oklahoma number 4. That's a good pickup because Oklahoma picked up Jalen Hurts, the quarterback from Alabama. So since he's not getting no more burn because Tua didn't ran everybody off and Nick Saban didn't ran everybody off, that Jalen Hurts is now there filling in for the previous quarterback that is now playing for the Arizona Cardinals. Think about it. So now we got number 5 at Ohio State, number 6 LSU, number 7 Michigan, number 8 who's playing tonight is Florida. Let's go to the game time now. Florida is playing the University of Miami. Last year, I called it. I believe it was University of Miami playing against Florida State. I called that upset. This year, I'm going to stay with Florida. Florida being ranked number 8, I think they got real strong last year. They was beating teams on the road. I think Florida is about that life. They're about that business right now. Another game, just jumping away from the top 25, is Arizona versus Hawaii. Arizona is a Pac-12 team. We know we on the West Coast. We know what that Pac-12 is like.
Yeah, buddy.
They give business. But I'm going with Hawaii because for some reason, when cats have to fly over to Hawaii and that jet lag going back in time, causes a major problem.
It's like going to play up in Utah for some reason.
It's like going to play up in Utah. It just slows you down and wears you out. So I'm going with Hawaii with that one. And those are the only 2 games that we have going in on Friday night. But college football is starting next weekend. Next weekend. And even next weekend is some huge games.
Okay, we'll save it for next week. We'll have you back next week. So your upset pick for this weekend is tonight's game with Hawaii.
If you want to call that an upset, it's Arizona.
It's not major.
Hawaii.
It's not major.
It's not major.
I got it. Well, we'll start
Especially
it off
first
slow.
games, right?
Yeah, it's the first couple games. Most people, by the time that they hear this, that game will have already been, will have already happened. So we'll see if you still have it or not. I have faith in you. I may place a wager myself. We might I might fool with a wager. I've been talking to wager.
I appreciate that. Pass the basket, brother. Pass the basket. Right.
I have it. I hope it's not a collection plate. I hope they pass it right on back. I want them to pass it back with some good information. I might even make me a move for Clemson to win it all. Even though I'm seeing Oklahoma as of June 3rd was 16-1 to win the national championship. That's good money. You parlay that with a baseball game, maybe parlay that with the Dodgers or Braves to win the National League pennant. You could be looking at some serious action, or a Dodger or an Astros World Series win parlayed with a 16-1 type player on the national championship.
Right?
You talking about some real cheese?
Talk them numbers.
Yeah, you talking real money there, folks. I don't know if you guys would like to wager or not, but from time to time I dabble in the casino. Just like to let you all know.
Just like I dabble with Clemson.
You dabble with Dabble Brady.
I see what you did there, boy. I see what you did there, you dabble. I love it. Do it for the tipper, folks. Tell me who you got this weekend. You got Kovalev or Yardy?
I'm going with the Crusher.
You got the Crusher. Yardy looks like he's in great shape, though. I like to see what Yardy's coming in with.
I like the Crusher. I just got to run with him. I'm old school. I got to run with him.
The Crusher look like he wants to run with O sometimes. I see him. You see the Crusher at the match. Sometimes he act like he knows O, and sometimes he doesn't.
Sometimes he does.
Sometimes looks like you want to lay hands on him.
Sometimes he looks like he just would like to give me a body shot in my spleen.
Body.
Take that.
Yeah, I don't know who I like in this Kovalev-Yarde fight, to be honest. I like Sergey in general, but we've noticed that Sergey has a problem to the body, and Yarde looks good, but it's everybody always looks good until they get into that championship situation.
Lights are too bright.
Right.
Yeah, and Kovalev has been there, and it seems like he's cleaned up his act. There was a lot of rumor, word on the curb that he didn't train hard. He liked to drink, and there was a lot of different stuff that happened. And truth be told, it may have been one of the better things that happened to him that Andre Ward beat him.
One of my problems with Kovalev now is that he's taking too much punishment.
Yeah, Andre Ward really punished him.
He made him look bad, too. He destroyed his body.
And then your man, I think it was Alvarez, gave him that work shortly after that in a really ugly work, in bad form.
Yeah, and I think
but
that's
he bounced back from that.
Yeah, but that's why Canelo wanted to fight him as well.
I agree. And so I wanted to cover that. And I read this article where Kovalev said that he would love to fight Canelo. He's interested in the fight, and they offered him an eye-popping sum to fight him. But the tickets were already on sale to fight Yarde, and he felt like he needed to fight Yarde in Russia because he was going home to his people, and that he needed to be there. It was admirable. Yeah, I could dig it too. And he said, "Listen, if after the bell rings on Saturday, the Canelo still wants to fight, I'm in. Sign me up." He was like, "But I needed to come home. I needed to fight in front of my people," and then that's where I was. But I don't know.
Get some of that home cooking sometimes.
Maybe so.
I actually think he can beat Canelo.
I think he may have taken too much punishment.
He's taking a lot of punishment.
Yeah.
He does know how to fight. He knows how to keep people at distance because he's almost 6 feet tall. And, Canelo's a lot smaller. So I think that you know how to use your reach and your distance, you can beat him.
Yeah.
I think he hit his prime, though. And I think
no question.
I think he's past his prime. And Canelo is surely in his prime right now.
I agree.
So I think if Kovalev goes out and he loses this fight with the level of competition that he's been fighting at, he can pretty much chalk his career up. It's a wrap, 3 losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable, right? Yeah,
right.
This would be number 4.
That's unbelievable.
But, yeah, it's absurd. It's absurd that you can lose it. What if just 3 guys that are better than you?
Right.
And that doesn't mean you're not better than 95% of the rest of the guys in the world.
That's what it means.
That's crazy. And, the fight, honestly, the fight there, and that is why Canelo, I didn't even think about that. That is why Canelo's trying to get him, because I don't see Canelo running around trying to fight Bivol, Dimitri Bivol.
Right.
And that's who he should fight at 175 if he's going to fight at 175, because that kid is a bull. Bivol is ready to go. How about your man? We didn't get to talk to you, Tipper. Our man, Jean Pascal got him one. Snuck him one on his way out.
He got him one.
He got him one, child. Let me find out Pascal got him one, child.
So happy for John.
Yeah, I was happy for Jean. For Jean Valjean. Got him one. It was a rough one, too. A dirty one. Had to throw some headbutts.
Everything.
Whole 9, but he threw those big hooks, and that's what got Brown out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that for a while.
From the pocket.
Yeah. He was taking punishment, too. He was taking. I was watching the fight like, oh, my man Sean needs to wrap it up.
But he is now.
And then he dropped him. And yeah, he should wrap it up. Wrap it up on top.
Put out that Dear John letter.
That Dear Jean. Dear Jean, please retire before you get out. And we got an official announcement from Triple G. Triple G strikes a deal with Matchroom Boxing to promote his future events. Now, I wonder where that leaves Tom. And I guess Tom still runs Triple G Promotions.
Right.
And now it's just a matter of...
Just looks like they're passing the baton, maybe.
Maybe, because he still has, 5 fights left on his deal?
Yeah.
With DAZN?
And I believe that if he doesn't get that fight with Canelo that he wants, that he's probably going to retire in a little bit.
I would imagine. Because he actually, I think he just wants to beat up Canelo. I think he wants to fight him and he wants to beat him
especially with the new trainer.
Yeah, especially with the new trainer. We have a situation now where he's going to fight Derevchenko for the belt.
Yeah.
For the belt that they stripped. This is just unreal, the 360.
Because he did not fight Derevchenko.
Because Canelo got caught juicing.
Tested dirty. And he loses his belt.
Hey,
Canelo snatches his belts. Now he gets his belt, an opportunity to win his belt back that he shouldn't have lost in the first place.
Which is crazy.
That's dirty.
Yeah. But now...
That whole belt situation is dirty.
Right. The sanctioning bodies. But as per Canelo's edict, the only people he wants to fight from this point out are championship fights. Which, I don't know how I feel about that, because when you're the champ, all of your fights are championship fights.
Right. And not only that, though, with them giving him this elite status, he doesn't have to go through the wars that everybody else has to go through.
Right.
He can actually handpick his fights.
He gets to pick.
Yeah.
Right. He gets to pick the ones that he wants. So, example, if he goes and fight, if Serge goes ahead and win this fight in Russia,
right,
would Canelo want to fight Serge? Absolutely, because Serge is going to get beat up and beat down.
Oh, yeah.
That's one easy fight that Canelo can just walk through.
Exactly.
But
and
Canelo-
then he picks up another belt that looks like he picked up a belt from the champ, which technically he would, but it's not like picking up the belt from Bivol.
Yeah, but Canelo can fall into the same trap that Anthony Joshua fell into as well
could.
by not fighting enough, because eventually it catches up with you when you can't get fights. And he can get fights, but since he's trying to be the A side so much, the team is being the A side too much. They're forcing other people in bad situations.
Yeah,
that they
and let's be clear about this, Ozone fans. We don't think this is coming from Canelo Alvarez.
No, not at all.
Canelo Alvarez
wants to fight everybody.
Whether you watch him in the ring or whether you actually meet the young man, and I will say he's a solid young man.
Yeah, he's very solid.
Really cool dude.
Yeah.
He wants to fight. He's not scared of fighting Triple G. He's not scared of fighting nobody.
Yeah.
He likes to fight. He's a fighter.
Yes.
He's not
Very
even a
much so.
boxer. He's a fighter, and he likes to fight. And that's what they said. There was trouble in Neverland over there with Trouble in Paradise over there in the situation at Golden Boy with him not getting this fight on September 14th, which is the Mexican Independence Day. I think it was the 14th, right? 13th, 14th on that weekend. Yeah, bro. And now they're saying Ruiz has
signed off because he got that cheese. They gave him a little bit,
slid him some more bread.
They said he gave him some more bread, so obviously he didn't care about human rights issue or nothing else. He just like everybody else. He wants some extra money, and he'll go out there and do whatever he wants to fight. Do. Huh?
He want to make some money and he want to fight, but he want to.
Got them hands.
They got to be at the right cost.
It's got to be at the right cost. And now you see this situation that with that, his trainer is saying, he's not in the best shape now, but we have time to get him there. Which is interesting because I haven't heard many people talk 3 to 4 months out about being in shape for a fight. That's a long time to get in shape.
You can do a lot.
Man,
12 weeks.
Man. That's
12-week camp.
That's a long camp, child. And then on top of that, I don't know if that's the case. We talked about this a lot. I don't know if, quote, in shape is what it is that Andy Ruiz needs.
Yeah, because they're talking about him dropping weight, and that's his weight.
And I can also tell you from a person who dropped a lot of weight really fast, it takes a while for your body to become recoordinated when you drop weight fast, when you've always been a certain size.
And I'm wondering about the temperature or whatever, if they fight in Saudi Arabia. Are they fighting outside, inside?
I would think they would have to fight indoors. But then again, it's December, so they might fight outside.
Yeah.
And
all these things come into play.
If it's December out there, it's like this.
Yeah.
It's a nice, warm 82-degree temperature.
I would have liked to see the fight in Mexico City. That would have been cool.
That would have been dope.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah. And you know what? If it was for the WBC belt, I guarantee you they would have made it happen in Mexico City. But instead, I wouldn't have mind seeing it there. I wouldn't have mind seeing it in Dallas or, someplace with a large Latino population.
Not in Dallas.
Not in Dallas? You mad at Jerry World?
Not in Dallas. Yeah, not in Dallas.
What Jerry do to you?
What Jerry do to you?
Y'all know the rules are a lot different in Dallas, and the scorecards always come out in just a whopping, just uncontrollable difference. So if it has to go to the card, which heavyweights usually don't, but just that chance.
But what fight you basing that off of?
I'm basing it way back with
he's mad at Canelo
my boy
and
Trout.
Lara and Trout and Canelo.
Yeah. My boy Trout.
He loved No Doubt Trout.
Yeah, Trout lost.
He loved Austin. Austin played.
He played.
Austin played because he could have beat him.
He could have beat him.
He could have
beat him. That's on Trout.
That's on.
And it ain't Mike. It's just regular Trout.
It is not Mike Trout.
Almadine.
All right, do it for the tipper. We're going to leave you here and leave you to think about the Angels postseason.
Yeah.
I'm a Dodger fan now. Go Dodgers. I'm rolling with the home squad. I'm a Dodger fan.
Well, they about to get some work, too.
As of August 22nd, I'm a Dodger fan.
Man, this is just unbelievable. They just refuse to do anything, and all it does is leave it subject for people like us to say, I don't want to hear about Mike Trout's greatness when he never goes to the playoffs
at all. And then people say,
you go.
Yeah, then everybody.
I'm not saying he's not great. I'm not saying he's not great. He's a great ball player. Let's get that straight off the top. But in the game of baseball, I can't actually think of the great ball players who aren't in the playoffs. Yeah. Maybe that didn't win a ring,
yeah,
but who aren't in the playoffs.
Barry Bonds went.
Man.
Ken Griffey Jr. went. I mean, all the great. And now I'm hearing some ridiculousness of talking about if they would have replaced him with Derek Jeter.
I don't even we'll get to that in baseball.
Yeah.
This is absurd.
But on the reverse side, you got cats on the Dodgers who ball out and can't win in the big games.
Yet at the same time, they're there.
My boy can't get there.
That's even worse. That's the
worse.
point.
Yeah,
that's the point.
That is the point, especially with this new virtual stat war, which is, by the way, built off of a virtual player that does not exist. He does not exist.
Look at this kid, Cody Bellinger. Now, everybody knows the problems that I had with Cody Bellinger, and I really hope he rectifies it in this October, right? But the truth of the matter is, Cody Bellinger has been in the league for 3 years, and Cody Bellinger will be in the playoffs for this first 3 years.
Yeah.
And he is going to be a big part of all 3 of those years.
Has it been 3 or 2?
It's been 2. This will be the 3rd year. He lost to the Astros, and he lost to the Red Sox, and this year he's going to go back to the postseason.
So that's 2.5 years, pretty much. Right?
Which will be 3 at the end of October, like I'm saying. No. This is bad.
No. They didn't bring him up in the beginning of the year. They brought him up in half through the season. So this is
yes, but technically he will be in 3. He will be in the playoffs for 3 consecutive years. Is all I'm saying. I don't know.
Icons. The back of a baseball card does not say 2.5 years.
When's the last time you looked at a baseball card?
Last weekend.
No, you didn't. Which one?
My Ken Griffey rookie card.
You got a Ken Griffey rookie.
Okay, and what did the stats say then? Because I know his stats. What did his rookie card say? What did it say?
Ken Griffey Jr.
Which one you got? You got that Fleer?
Or you got that? You got the upper deck.
That upper deck.
The upper deck is the one where
Oh, you got the Don Russ.
You got the
that Don Russ is nice though. No, I never liked Don Russ.
One you need to have.
Upper deck was the best one clearly, but the Don Russ wasn't bad.
It's okay.
The Tops was the OG. The Tops
was the OG, but the Tops was the OG, but the upper deck was the one that
upper
used to be like
one that you go to the next level. Yeah, you go to the next level. You got upper deck. Like you hit the lottery, you got a King Griffey Jr. card.
Came a little bit later. Tops was like the very first one.
No,
but
that's
the one that you got the hard bubble gum out of. But then that's cool, and it was great bubble gum.
Great bubble gum.
Like, you can chew it all day. But the card wasn't worth nothing.
The soft gloss cards.
Yeah, but it was a higher grade card, is what we're trying to take. Man, you sound just like the Icons. The upper deck is clearly the higher grade card at that point. Upper deck was worth a grip. Every upper deck.
Confusion do you have in your mind?
Now you made him turn into Yoda. Now, I don't think I ever bought a Don Russ set.
I have one.
You had a Don Russ set?
Yeah. I don't have a Don Russ set.
I never bought a set of Don Russ.
I don't like fooling with sets. I like to just play with the cards. Let them play with where they make.
Sets either good.
So you see those set trip. So you guys like to fool with a wax pack.
No, you love a wax pack. Hey, can you run me over and take me to the wax pack?
You don't know what you're going to get except that hard ass bubble gum.
Terry's joking about me now because when I was a kid, I was notorious for needing a ride to get to the hobby shop so that I could pick up a wax pack
every weekend.
I needed the new cards. I needed all of them.
Wax pack.
I
should hear him on the phone. Yeah, I'm calling to see if you have any wax packs in.
I couldn't afford the set. And then the one time that I could afford the set, I went to a card show and somebody beat me because the box was open.
You still have your cards?
All my cards.
So they went through.
Yeah, they went through and they grabbed everybody that they, And
give me a bunch of commons.
Give me a bunch of common cards, which I might as well bought wax packs. But what's a real trip about that?
Ernie knows.
What's a real trip about that? We go off subject, folks, but you guys, I think out there in Ozone Land will understand. Yeah. What's a real trip about that is baseball cards aren't worth anything anymore.
Crazy. Got a whole garage full of them. I could throw them in the fireplace,
and nothing would change.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people bank their future.
There was
on
an investment in that.
Yeah, it was a serious investment, but a lot of people put in a lot of money.
What's the most valuable card you got?
You know what? I don't know. I have so many cards that I really don't know anymore.
What about you, Tipper? What's your most valuable card?
I would say that Ken Griffey one would probably be the most.
My most valuable card.
I got a Kirby Puckett one. I got a Kirby Puckett rookie.
Oh,
I used to be all
Ricky
in.
Henderson. I have
that's what you don't know which one it is. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I have a Ricky Henderson. I have a second year Ricky Henderson is my most valuable card.
I have rookies of Ricky Henderson, maybe about 10 of them, and I have also Nolan Ryan's. I have
that used to be a grip. The Nolan Ryan used to be a grip.
Yeah, I have
used to be like $2,500.
LeBron's rookie. I have a few of Michael Jordan, but they're not his rookie cards. But it's like the second or third year in the league.
We're talking about I got all the Don Mattingly's rookie for.
You said that card used to be so sick,
man.
Porno mustache.
I got Wade Boggs. Those would be like my most expensive.
And you know what? And I actually passed. I traded some of my friends for some Wade Boggs because I didn't like him as a player.
Right.
And I had Wade Boggs rookies, and I think I traded for Doc Goodens.
Yeah.
For that coca.
For that. I'm in love with the cocoa.
Trading for that Narcos.
I traded him for that cheese. Coconut. You get out there with Dwight Gooden and get carved.
Especially on a video game.
Oh, my goodness. You couldn't hit Dwight Gooden? Man. All right. Nice trip down memory lane. I need to go look at my cards tonight. See if the rats ate them. I might not have none. I'm talking all that nonsense. I got mine in the garage, so
You have none, man?
You might have 3 or 4, but you got none, man. I might have to
If
borrow.
in that wax pack, you ain't got no more, Jack.
That's the thing. You know, I had a couple that I never opened. I couldn't take it anymore. I finally opened them, and it was nothing but common cards. That's why the wax pack gets you weak.
Yeah, that are not open, as a matter of fact.
You needed the sealed set. That was the thing. You needed a sealed set. Those are the ones that were worth a good.
It's the mystery of it all,
none
right?
None of them are worth nothing now.
No, I'm not going to say. Maybe they might come back. I'm sure that they're going to come back eventually.
You think?
Oh,
I don't
no
know.
question.
Because the problem is now, one, they made too many cards, and once they became valuable, and two, the juicing and everything changed everything. It seems like when the juicing happened, that's when all the cards lost all their value.
What does the juice have to do with Reggie Jackson or Ricky Henderson? Which
it has everything to do with it because what these guys have done is they've altered what their numbers mean. Because Ricky Henderson, nobody's going to ever get close to Ricky Henderson's numbers ever again. Right. But with these other guys, like power guys and batting average guys, now because of the juice, those numbers aren't as impressive.
I don't know.
They're impressive to us.
Right. I would say that the basketball cards are more popular and will have more value than what the baseball cards have, and that's because of the juice.
I agree.
Because the juice kind of just like wiped everything out.
Really? Yeah. Shaquille O'Neal. I agree, Tipper, because what happened is that it changed everything. And also with basketball, you're dealing with the idea that there's only 12 guys on the team.
Yeah. You know what? Another thing about this gambling situation, I gambled because I did not turn in my Shaq card. Remember when they first came out, it wasn't Shaq. So I didn't want to turn it. You had to turn in your card to get the actual Shaq rookie card. So I kept the one that you're supposed to turn in.
To get the Shaquille O'Neal rookie. So this is actually his rookie card, but you have to turn in the. So you don't have his rookie card.
No, I have the
animated. You have the voucher.
No, it's not a voucher. It's actually a card with him like dunking or whatever, but it's like animation. So with that card, you were supposed to send it in, and then they would have.
They send you back the Shaquille O'Neal rookie.
An original Shaquille O'Neal rookie because when he came into the league, they didn't have a card for him yet.
What brand is that?
That sound like you guys Shazammed.
But you got whatever. I got the card.
That was an Upper Deck, huh?
I think it was Upper Deck.
What was the name of the book where you looked up
Tops.
No, it wasn't Tops. The name of the book where you used to look up the price.
The Beckett.
The Beckett.
There you go.
That boy, Ernie.
the Beckett guide.
That's
like a wax pack type of guy.
Yeah, Josh Beckett was in there.
Ooh wee.
Man.
Yeah.
That was vicious.
Beckett.
They had the Beckett too, but there was another one as well.
Yeah, but Beckett was like your
Beckett
standard
was the go-to.
Beckett was what you would take to the card shows, to the memorabilia shows,
I'm
and be
look
like,
at the Beckett and see where we are now in the game.
I think that your cup of water is. I don't even know if they even still print the Beckett. We need to look it up online. All right, do it for the tipper.
Anywhere.
Say it again.
I don't see no Beckett anywhere.
Yeah, but I'm also not at the card shop, so I can't call it. Yeah. All right, now, thank you, Do It for the Tipper. We will check back in and see how your picks did, and we will be with you very shortly next week when the big games come out. I want you to pick them good because I'm going to lay a wager. We're going to keep count this year and see how much money you make, the Ozone listeners.
Woohoo! That's right. Ozone, have a good weekend. Go Dodgers.
All right, Desert Flower.
Late.
Yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Time that we already touched in on it. We couldn't help ourselves. Time to jump straight into baseball. Do you think that Pete Alonso is going to shatter the rookie home run record?
He has a great chance, and especially as streaky as he is. He's on my fantasy team, and I know that I would look at the board one day.
Aaron Judge holds it, right?
Aaron Judge holds it. I think he has 52.
Yeah.
But Pete Alonso needs 12 home runs in, a month?
Mm-hmm.
And that's very, very possible.
I mean, he gets to a point where he's hitting like 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah, because he was batting 249, I do believe, last week, and then he caught on fire in like 2 or 3 games. He had 2 or 3 home runs in a game, and that adds up quick. And he's big. It looked like he's built like a tree trunk. So he, if he makes solid contact, the ball has a chance of getting out. I think he could do it.
Yeah,
maybe 53.
Ooh,
but the problem is that if they pitch to him, and he has a nice lineup so that they can't really pitch around him like Aaron Judge did.
Well, We're about to go watch Aaron Judge, and I'm very excited about him. How about your man Aquino? I see no reason to cry. Another bomb
Today?
I don't know if it's today. We got him. He's putting the ball out of the park. He's on a tear, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to see what he's going to be like.
He hit one today.
After the adjustments, because this is what it's all about.
And this is right center. This is a big bomb I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, he's got the power is real. The thing of it is that is it gonna be fluky? I don't think it's fluky. I look at him; he looks very comfortable in the box.
He looks very comfortable, but he also has more movement than I would like.
Well, yeah, but then this is the problem because once they start writing the book on him, they'll find out his holes and his flaws, and then that'll be up to him to kill whatever it is that they're doing against him.
I think it's high and in cheese, slider low away.
Really, and they said something about that, but he started to lay off the low and away.
Yeah, that's how he went in.
You got to make him come to you.
Yeah, that's it. But it's hard to do, especially when you're used to hitting bombs. You get excited. Nothing like that bomb. Whew. How about this cocaine bust that went down?
Can you believe that? That's unbelievable.
The homie Louis Castillo?
Yeah, Louis Castillo and
great ball player.
Yeah, and who else was it in it with him?
It was Louis Castillo and Octavio Dotel.
Octavio, great closer.
And
a
great journeyman closer.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part about it. He was on forever. Octavio Dotel's been to every team in Major League Baseball.
It's a trip because you know that they made decent money even back then with baseball because baseball money is guaranteed. And they just had to wait a little while for their pension to kick in. But I don't know what would make them travel to the dark side like that.
And we don't know if it's true. I mean, at this point, it's allegations. They're saying they don't know what role that the players are playing in this Dominican Republic drug lord scheme. But they had a big sweep, and what they did is they grabbed everybody from frontmen to nightclubs, anything that's happening. And Luis Castillo said on Instagram afterwards, only God knows the truth. So I don't know necessarily if that's a positive or a negative. Because I feel like
I need you to sign off.
I feel like he knows the truth as well.
I need you to condemn the statements against you.
Octavio Dotel, for his part, is one of an all-time Major League Baseball leaders in the number of franchises played for. 13 teams during his 14-year career.
Half the league.
Child. Man,
half the league.
I hope it's not true. I hate to see that, especially with the cheese being guaranteed.
Right.
It's coming.
And hopefully they can stay out the pen.
Yeah. The last thing you need is more millionaires in the pen. Unless they work in Washington. What else do you got? You got Chris Sale. I think that's a wrap. You think it's a wrap for Boston? What do you think?
I think it's over for him.
A lot of people I speak to seem to believe that Boston is going to make some wild card push and then they're going to rekindle the magic. I haven't seen Boston be Boston since that whole Trump White House visit separation.
That's the curse of Trump.
I haven't seen it, honestly. And I'm not even just trying to ride on Trump.
Yeah, but you know what? They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything at the trade deadline. And you have to blame Dave Dombrowski because they didn't go out and get any frontline pitching. And Chris Sale was on wobbly legs. Or a closer. You didn't want to re-sign your closer.
Right.
You don't have a bullpen so that you can't even close the games out that you're winning. So
they got plenty of offense.
Yeah, so now literally you want to win the games 13-12.
It's not going to work.
That's not going to work in the show. Not against the good teams. Like I keep watching the Dodgers with all these walk-off wins against Toronto and the Padres and things like that. But when you go against the elite,
tonight we're about to see what time it is.
Yeah, because when you go against the elite teams and they have the back end of the bullpen like the Dodgers don't have, then you end up in trouble.
And Ken Lee just keeps floundering along.
Yeah.
My boy, the big fella. Ken Lee.
And one of the things that, that I know that they're probably going to pump out there to see how the test is going to be bringing Joe Kelly out there against the Yankees. But Joe Kelly was in their division again with the Red Sox.
And besides that, you've yet to see many people that just shut down the Yankees. Even guys that shut down the Yankees still give up, a decent amount of runs.
I think Hyun-Jin might be the best bet against them.
I think soft is the best case. I don't think you can overpower the Yankees. They're not impressed.
Because what you need to do is to make them get themselves out.
Yes.
And that's what Hyun-Jin pitches to contact. He doesn't strike out a lot of people. He pitches to contact. The only downside is as hot as it is out here right now, and if he comes out there and doesn't get his pitches hit his spots, you're going to see the long ball playing.
I think we see the long ball regardless.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't think we fooling with the long ball. I'm looking at
Hyun-Jin keeps the ball down.
Give me a call on the game. What's your score?
I can't call it. I don't even know who's pitching for the for the Yankees, to be honest.
This is the problem with the Yankees. You don't know who's pitching. But it's James Paxton.
Oh, it's James Paxton.
So the Dodgers, I think, are in trouble because they're pretty much predominant left-hand lineup. And if James Paxton can get his game halfway together, then he should be a problem because they don't see him that often. You got a handful of guys that have seen him. So I'm looking at maybe.
What you looking at, John?
5-3.
5-3 game. That's 8 runs. That's a lot of runs.
Yeah, 5-3 Yankees.
It's a lot of runs for a guy whose ERA up until like earlier this week was in the ones.
I don't think that they're really going to score that much off Hyun-Jun, but
You think they'd score late?
well, yeah, when they get in that bullpen. Hyun-Jun probably keep him off balance. Probably going to throw a lot of pitches. So probably
For James Paxton, we don't know which James Paxton's going to show up.
yeah, but the Dodgers, like I said, you got Max Muncy, you have
You got the funky
Bellinger,
Monksy.
you got Seager, you got freaking
Yeah, you got a bunch of lefties.
yeah, a bunch of lefties. So this is the Yankees literally stacking up their lineup.
I think the kid Will Smith has some work for John Paxton.
I don't think he has any for John Paxton or James.
He plays really good defense on John Paxton, though. Oh, man, we're going to go. We're going to figure it out. Joe. I'm so excited. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the last thing I want to speak to you about is nothing I want to speak about. I just want to have my brother rant once again about Mike Trout and WAR.
What is it good for?
It's come out, ladies and gentlemen, that Mike Trout is currently passing Derek Jeter in WAR. He has passed him, and his wins above replacement are more than Derek Jeter, which sparked a conversation that to me was one of these fantasy digital conversations that's just completely absurd. And the conversation was, if you swap out Mike Trout for Derek Jeter on all of those Yankee teams, do they win more or less championships?
Will they win at all? He can't even get to the playoffs.
But
And I'm
the
not.
issue is, what are you telling me here? You're telling me that we're going to take Bernie Williams out?
Basically, one of the biggest.
You won't win.
No, one of the biggest clutch players in baseball history.
Baseball history.
And you're talking about taking him out the game so you can get Mike Trout in there. First and foremost, if Mike Trout was playing on the Yankees back then, he'd probably be playing left field. You know what I'm saying? You have Paul O'Neill, who's a big time player in right field.
Huge.
I just don't buy into the fact that Mike Trout hits a bunch of home runs and everything else. He's a great ball player, and like we had a conversation before, it sounds like I don't like Mike Trout. That's not the thing. The thing of it is that we haven't seen the finish of his career and with this virtual stat that they've made,
The full body of his work.
Yeah.
Now, talk to me. What is the virtual stat?
WAR wins above replacement. But what are we replacing? The guy doesn't win. Well, you're telling me that his team is second to the last or last place. If we take him out of the lineup, where would they be? Second to the last or last. Where is it that the quantification of him being in your lineup, how is that going to make them propel them to the next level to go to the playoffs and win World Series? If you're saying that you can take him over Derek Jeter, or if you started a fantasy draft all time that you would start off your pick with Mike Trout over Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Ricky Henderson, we can just keep on going on and on. Mickey Mantle,
Do you take Mike Trout over Kirby Puckett?
No. I'm not taking Mike Trout over Kirby Puckett.
No, Kirby Puckett's a 2-time World Series champion.
Yeah, I've seen these guys win. And not that Mike Trout can't win.
Yeah.
And nor is one. But see, baseball is a team sport. So when everybody starts talking about, well, he's not on a good team, there's a part of the game that what happens is that you need to make your players around you better. And it doesn't seem like he can do that. And it's not his problem or his fault because they've already anointed him winning the MVP. How can you give him the MVP already? I mean, with the Angels still not making the playoffs again this year.
I mean, people are just are really perplexed and marveled by his ability, which is impressive.
Very impressive. He's a great athlete.
He's a great athlete, and I think he'd be great in football. I think he'd be great in basketball. I think he's just a great athlete.
Yeah.
He'd be a great hockey player.
But we've seen a lot of great players back in the day on all kind of sports. Look at Dominique Wilkins. We have a bunch of great ball players, and that actually never win, and that's just.
And this kind of,
and it's not a knock on them not winning because it's competition out there.
Yeah. And this is the whole thing when it comes to regular season awards and how much weight you put on a regular season award.
Right.
Voted
on by writers
who didn't play.
But
there are a lot of guys in the league who like who romance the idea of him
romance
being,
a stone.
Yeah, who romance his abilities. Now, I don't think they end up voting for him being the greatest because the MLB has their own version of the awards, and I would love to know if Mike Trout has won the MVP in those on the years that
he's only won once.
And that was probably that year that the Angels were the best team in baseball, and they got served on that delay. 16? 15?
Yeah, something like
15, I think it was. Because they lost to the Royals. and the Royals played that wild card game with Oakland that went super long. They lost to the Royals. Then Oakland lost to the Royals, and the Royals beat the Angels. Then the Royals lost to San Francisco because Madison Bumgarner is the greatest pitcher.
In postseason, him and El Duque. What if you had a rotation, him and El Duque?
And John Smoltz and Jack Morris.
And you can score a run.
I'll take Jack Morris over Bumgarner.
Really?
How crazy is that?
I might take El Duque over both of them. El Duque in the post
shuts you down in the post.
Are you crazy?
Jack Morris is a savage in the post, though.
He's a dog.
He's a dog out there. He gave you 10 scoreless in the biggest game of the World Series.
And who was he going against?
A monster Braves lineup.
Come on, man.
With John Smoltz giving you 9 scoreless on the other side.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guy, he didn't even really get in trouble. Like, I'm talking about he shut you down, and then it was enough. And if you did think you had a little something going, no, you need a double play right now. I got just enough to strike you out.
But gone are the days of that
2
type
years.
of baseball, because
84 as well.
Yeah, you won't see that kind of baseball anymore because of the way with the
analytics.
The analytics.
You think that they would take Madison Bumgarner out in this situation now?
No question.
I don't think they would. Bruce Bochy wouldn't.
Bruce Bochy, but Bochy is retiring after this year. You're talking about all these guys who have to literally stand up, because I believe that the coaches in Major League Baseball should get paid as much as the players right now. Because if I have to stand out here and take all of the blame for the teams losing, because like Dave Roberts might have to take some of the blame or whatever, because the analytics.
Dave Roberts is coaching the best team in baseball.
Yeah, but Dave Roberts actually has to probably listen to an analytics department.
Of course.
That's going to tell him to tell.
And then he also has to bite the bullet when you bring Ken Lee in the 8th in the World Series, even though everybody's like, he's the 9th inning guy.
Yeah,
trying to squeeze those 6 outs out of him, and he didn't have them in him.
But do we know if the analytics department gave him that call?
No,
said that, hey, listen, Dave, you know what? In the 8th inning, it'll be nice if his stats say this.
And maybe maybe that's what Dave gets paid for.
Yeah, to stand there and take the blunt force trauma. But, you can put sensors on guys. You can do everything. But when it comes down to pressure situations, how do you react? Nobody knows that until you put that guy in a pressure situation. Your stats might say X, Y, and Z, but we watched Kershaw. Kershaw has been the most dominant pitcher in the last decade, and then we have watched him
more than a decade.
But then
he's been most dominant since Pedro Martinez.
Yes, and then when you watch him in the postseason, he's just an average pitcher, and that's not a knock on Clayton Kershaw. He's just an average pitcher. But how can you tell that until you put him in that situation?
And it sucks too, because I stand for Clayton a lot, and honestly, for the most part, up until recently, it was only 2 innings that gave him that reputation.
Yeah, against the Cardinals.
Yeah, but then after that is when he stopped having his devastating stuff. I'm interested to see what he does in this postseason.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what he does on Sunday. Forget about the postseason.
Yes.
Because he's going against the Yankees.
And he has a propensity now to give up the long ball.
Yeah, but he also has a propensity now to not let you touch the ball.
He has.
Because he has changed his game and recognizing that he's not throwing 96, 97 anymore. He's throwing that slider from the same slot that he's throwing the fastball from, right under hitters' hands, and they can't pick it up. The only problem that they're going to have
I said last week,
DJ LeMahieu.
the best player in baseball.
Yeah. Best player or best pitcher?
I'm sorry, best pitcher in baseball right now. I think Ronald Acuna is the best player in baseball.
Really? I still got to roll with Christian Yelich.
I was about to say maybe Christian Yelich. I mean, it's a neck and neck between Christian Yelich, Cody Bellinger, Ronald Acuna, and I'm going to throw Mike Trout in.
Yeah, and everybody except for Mike Trout is in the postseason race.
Oh, yeah.
They don't get this. He doesn't get to feel that pressure. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Christian Yelich literally is there for the Triple Crown again.
Unreal. Back to back.
You're talking about Miguel Cabrera type of
I was about
game.
to say, we haven't even seen anybody talk about the Triple Crown until about 6 years ago when Miguel Cabrera actually won the Triple Crown. That's the first time you even heard of the Triple Crown in about 45 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't even attainable before.
Well, Albert Pujols played with it a little bit. They dated.
He flirted,
yeah,
but they never got serious.
That
was it. He slid in his DM, but Triple Crown wasn't hearing it.
Yeah.
Triple Crown came with open arms to Christian Yelich and to Miguel.
Yeah. And he's, like I said, he's flirting with it again. So, I mean, it's hard to just act like a guy's not putting up Triple Crown numbers. Triple Crown numbers are real.
And you know what? You're right. But so is Cody Bellinger, to be honest. Cody Bellinger's putting up crazy numbers this year.
Yeah, he is. But then when we talk about Mike Trout is hitting a lot of home runs, and he has a good average. He doesn't have a great average.
He cut down on his strikeouts, which is
he's almost batting 300, and his OPS is through the roof.
Yeah.
But you're talking about Christian Yelich, who's batting what? 335 or something like that.
And he's in the
got about
playoff,
40 home.
like you said.
Yeah, got about 40 home runs. Got a lot of RBIs.
And
he
doesn't have all that much protection.
I was going to say, and he really doesn't have protection.
Although Moose is having a great year.
Moose is having a great year, but you're talking about a lefty-lefty situation again, not stacked like the Dodgers lineup. And, Christian Yelich, to me, is the best player in baseball. He steals bags.
He's got it all.
Yeah, he's got it all.
And now he doesn't seem to get hurt as much as he used to when he was in Miami. Seems like whatever the strength and conditioning coach is doing up there in Milwaukee is working.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That's all we got for you. We'll be back next week. Keep living, keep loving, don't stop believing. And I'm going to leave you with a quote from notorious racist / human rights activist icon Mahatma Gandhi. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. I'm your host, Omar Miller, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive each other. Recognize that we're all in this together. I'm headed to Chavez Ravine.
Ozone.
I'm just living the dream. I'm in love with the lights.